Hey there, nation, and welcome to the show where we help you to play miniatures wargaming on a budget. It is I, Commander Cheapskate, and we are back with another episode of Into Darkness. This is our series that's dedicated to Snarling and Badger Studios' Space Station Zero solo play campaign, and this is Battle Report number 16, and this is Challenge number 18, The Prison. So as you can see, my crew has been scattered throughout 6 different prison cells. As you can see, they've been kind of randomly put into place. And in this scenario, I have to get out of my prison cell for one and try to escape not being gassed with sleeping gas. And then from there, defeat 2 prison drones that are pulling watch duty in this prison. So that being said, we're going to play some background music real quick. As the music is playing, we will show you photos of the battlefield as well as talk about the scenario rules. And then we'll show you the rosters for my crew, Thundrik's Profiteers, which is the crew of the Skyfarer, which is a shipping crew that is currently imprisoned in the palace of Space Station Zero. So that being said, let's get this battle report on a roll. Challenge number 18, Prison. You awake after your long tumble down the shields into what seems like a prison. Your crew is separated amongst the cells of this prison, and the walls are clear material so you can see that you have all survived. But a cursory examination shows they are immune to your weapons. It seems that you will have to break out the old-fashioned way. So on this battle report, ladies and gentlemen, I do have to go through 6 different prison cells, and pretty much what ends up happening is I roll a d6 for each of my crew members to see exactly where they end up. The prison cells 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. I have a couple of them. I have 1 in prison cell 1, 1 in prison cell 2, 2 in prison cell 3, and another 2 in prison cell 5. Now, aside from escaping the prison, I do have to have a couple of challenges I gotta go against. First of all, I gotta get out of my cell, the first thing I need to do. And to do that, it requires a reaction challenge test of 6 on a 4 up. Now, it doesn't need to be a single roll. I can have multiple crew members try to escape this as well. But if I do fail the roll, what ends up happening is that a sleeping gas is released inside of the prison cell, in which case I must make a life save of 3. Otherwise, I fall asleep and I can't do anything. I can't activate, I can't fight, I can't move until another crew member wakes you up. I also have to worry about making critical failures. If I make a critical failure, we're trying to escape, the gas is released. At the same time, I also have to repair the panel using an intelligence test of 5 on a 4 up in order to get that repaired, and then I have to start the whole process all over again. So I do have to worry about that. Now, once I do manage to get loose of my cells, what ends up happening, then I have to fight 2 prison drones. These prison drones each have 8 life, 5 movement, 5 combat, 2 reaction, as well as 1 intelligence. They're also armed with stun sticks, which gives them +2 to their combat ability, as well as a special ability called stun. And if they manage to successfully damage any crew member, my crew member must make a life save of 3. If the test is failed, the crew member reduces their movement to 0, and they may not attack during their next activation. At the same time, to make things worse, these prison drones also have an armor of 4 up. So with that being said, we're going to go directly show you a picture of my roster real fast, and then for that we'll move on directly to the battle report. Alright, so let's go and talk about deployments real quick. So as you can see, my enemy has 2 guard drones located on either side of the hallway as they're patrolling back and forth, making sure nobody escapes out of their cells. As for my crew, I have 2 crew members right over here. I have Garrett Allison, my pilot, as well as Enric Ironhelm, my engineer. Up here in this cell, all by his lonesome, is my guard drone, the Shipbreaker. Right next to him is Björgen Thundrik, my commander, and right next to him is Kazgan Draxgear, my soldier, as well as Deadeye Lund, my medical officer. I do have my work cut out for me on this one. I do have to try to escape out of my cells first because I cannot attack the guards until I do so. Now, when it comes to actually getting out of my prison cell, what I did do is take a reaction test. What I have to do, I have to pass, I believe it's a reaction test 6 on a 3 up, I believe is what I have to do. Oh, sorry, 4 up on this one. So basically what ends up happening, it has to be on not necessarily be on a single roll, but I can have multiple people roll it to try to get it done. But the problem is if I can't pass it on my first attempt, sleeping gas does erupt into the room, which means my characters cannot fight, they cannot move until somebody actually wakes them up. So I do have my work cut out for me that way. Now, once I do escape the prison cells, from there I can then move on and attack the guard drones, and then from there, of course, move out and then get out of this challenge and move on directly on to my next quest and discover the bowels of Space Station Zero. So now that we have these scenario rules and the battle plans all figured out, with that being said, let's go ahead and go directly to the top of turn number 1, and I get to activate first. Alright, so that takes directly to the end of turn number 1. So first of all, I had Garon Allenson as well as Enric Ironhell. They both teamed up together and managed to open this door pretty easily. They both got reaction score 6, and they also have hyper scanners, so that made it pretty easy as well. From there, I was able to take initiative, so I focused on Kazgan, Draxgear, and Deadeye Lund. Unfortunately, they failed, so now the gas will actually trigger now, so that part's kind of rough. I gotta take a life test, otherwise they will not wake up. Meanwhile, Bjorgen Thundrik was able to open up his. I rolled 2 12s for my reaction test because that was able to get this door open as well, so he's free to go. And at the same time, my other robot, the Shipbreaker, failed his reaction test. He only got reaction 4, so because he doesn't worry about sleeping gas as well. Meanwhile, the 2 guard drones made their way directly towards the 2 center cells because they both are currently open, and that pretty much makes up turn number 1. So with turn number 1 over with, we go directly to the top of turn number 2, and I get to activate first. So that takes us directly to the end of turn number 2. So as you can see, quite a bit of action is taking place directly onto the battlefield. So first of all, Garon Allenson as well as Enric Ironhell, they both got to activate. Garon Allenson got to go first. I managed to get to steal the initiative with Enric Ironhell. Both these guys opened fire directly into this drone. Managed to put 4 wounds onto him in total. That was primarily from Garon Allenson. Was the only one who was able to put damage on him. Unfortunately for me, Enric Ironhell just kind of flipped his rolls, even with his weapon tuning ability going off. In exchange, of course, the attack drone attacked Garon Allenson. Managed to put 1 wound on him, and luckily I passed my life save, so that I wouldn't have to worry about falling asleep because this machine's got the stun ability. Meanwhile, over here on the top, both Kazkan, Draxgear, as well as Deadeye Lund finally got the door open, so that part was absolutely fantastic. They also both passed their life save for the sleeping gas, so they'll be able to activate next. However, the biggest pain, though, came between this combat as well as my leader. That drone match put 3 wounds directly onto Bjorgen Thundrik. Luckily, I passed my stun check, so he's perfectly fine. I was able to put 2 wounds back on it. Meanwhile, over here on the right-hand side, the Shipbreaker does pass its life test for the sleeping gas. It does try to escape, but unfortunately, of course, it fails. So because that doesn't have to worry about doing the life save again on the next turn. And that pretty much ends up turn number 2 for this one. So we're turn number 2 over with. We go directly to the top of turn number 3, and I get to activate first. Alright, so we're back at the end of turn number 3, and as you can see, managed to finally kill the last of the prison drones. For my very first activation, I activated Kazgan Draxgear. Kazgan Draxgear uses point-to-point teleporter to come out of his cell and open fire with his heavy ion cannon. Managed to blow this guy right out of the water, killing this guy right off the bat. So that part was absolutely fantastic. Now, once I got through that activation, I managed to steal initiative, so because that Bjorgen Thundrik then opened fire directly onto this drone, putting 2 more wounds onto him. Now, the drone, of course, did attack back against Garon Allenson since he was the closest target to it. Did flub its rolls for the most part, so he was perfectly fine. And then from there, Garon Allenson opened fire with his weapon, managed to put the last wound directly onto this drone and destroy that one completely as well. Now, for the rest of the turn, basically I had Deadeye Lund activate next. He used Bjorgen Thundrik's logistical expert ability to actually move twice across to the cell where the Shipbreaker was located at. The 2 of them worked together in order to open up the door and managed to open that one no problem, and the Shipbreaker also passes life save for the sleeping gas as well. So just like that, that pretty much ends the scenario. So with that, we'll go directly to the post game because this battle report is now officially over.
That's it, man. Game over, man. It's game over.
Sure, I could have stayed in the past. Could have even been king. But in my own way, I am king. Hail to the king, baby.
Alright, so let's go ahead and talk about the post game real quick. So as you can see, most of my crew members also got experience points. Bjorgen Thundrik, my captain, my commander, actually leveled up, not leveled up, but got 2 experience points. Same with Deadeye Lund, Kazgan Draxgear, Enric Ironhell, and Garon Allenson. They all got 1 experience point, and so did the Shipbreaker. But with the Shipbreaker getting 5 experience points, now leveled to level 2, so because of that, I added +1 to its movement characteristic. It already has movement 8, a life of 8, so I didn't really need to flesh out the life so much. So I decided to put in the movement so that way it moves a little bit faster as well. So that's good news for you guys. As always, please feel free to like, comment, and or subscribe. Your guys' input is valuable to us as always. Also check us out on Facebook, Instagram, as well as blogger.com for all these greatest hobby news related to this channel. That's good for this week, guys. We'll catch you guys next one. Peace out and stay classy.